Hi there! My name is Really. In today's episode, I'm going over how I animated my new intro and outro. The original title was going to be Learn How to Animate in Clip Studio, but I had to scrap that. I used pretty much an equal mix of Clip and my editing software to make all these. I had to format this video differently than I wanted to as well. My idea for this video was originally to record the whole process in OBS. I had to decide against that with the heat. I like my computer, I gotta take care of it in this heat. So I'll just be doing an overview process instead. This ended up nothing like how I intended it to be. But that's fine. The show must go on and all that jazz. So my thought process for the intro was to have it be quick and simple. I knew the first thing I was going to animate was going to be where most of my learning would be. I've played around with animation before in Fire Alpaca and Procreate. That was a long time ago now, and they weren't that good. I know the basics of animating: smear frames, squash and stretch, ease ins, ease outs, keyframes, and in-betweens. I'm familiar with them all, but knowledge does not equal skill. It took me a little bit to understand the setup for Clip's animation. It took me a moment to realize I couldn't duplicate layers or copy and paste them. For the animation to work, you have to use animation cells, so I couldn't shortcut anything by duplicating a layer and changing it slightly. I had to redraw the whole thing. Thankfully, you can have multiple animation folders and arrange them in the timeline however you need. If there's one frame in a folder, so long as this little gray area is across the whole project timeline, it'll show across the whole animation. I like how this timeline works. You get to pick the duration time of the frame. In other programs I used, each frame had the same amount of time, so you had to have multiple of the one frame for however long you needed it for. Speaking of the timeline, you might have noticed I'm only using 24 frames. And that's how it's gonna be across everything I'm animating today. To have more frames to work with, you need the EX version of Clip. I'm not a fan of subscription models for software. I like to buy once and own the version I purchase. As much as I'd like to have EX, I'm not getting the software plan, and I can't randomly drop that kind of money. So I'm working with 24 frames only. To get the animation started, I did a quick blobby first pass to get the timing and basic shapes placed. I wanted something cute and simple, so I drew Chibi Really popping up and smiling. It was just Really's upper half at first, but later I added the tail to fill in the blank space under the channel name. From the blobby stage, I went on to sketches, lines, and finally coloring. For the background, it's just a simple image that I used 2 keyframes at the start and the end of the timeline to make it scroll by. Once I had it done, I took the animation into my video editing software, DaVinci Resolve. In Resolve, I took the original animation, copied it, and put that thing in reverse. Here's what it looks like. Nice and smooth, very cute. I added a sound effect from Animal Crossing, and that's it. The intro is all done. Behold! Outro time! I did some quick sketches to get an idea of what I wanted to do. I made 3, and while I liked the other 2, especially the store one, I had to keep it within my range of ability. So I went with this one of Really sleeping. So again, I blocked out the rough layout and started the sketches. I redrew every part of Really, which I think added to the look of her snoring and breathing. After lines and colors were done, I decided I wanted the background for this to be transparent, so I could just have the same moving dot background I have in my videos. You can't export a transparent background through the standard .mov file. Instead, you have to export as an image sequence. So I ended up with all of these, which I basically don't need. I just need my main 3 frames here. I wanted another piece for this, somehow putting in moving stores. At first I wanted to go with a shooting store, but I wasn't really vibing with that. So I tried some twinkly stores instead. That's what I went with. I made 3 stores each with the colors of my logo. Once they were done, I exported 3 rounds of image sequences and headed into Resolve. I got the frames I needed all lined up and stretched it out for a nice 30 seconds. For the stores, I spaced them out so they wouldn't all be going at once, which I think looks nicer than my original layout. I added the 2 a.m. hour song from Animal Crossing Wild World. I love the song, it's so pretty and calming. I felt like it fit perfectly for an outro. Here it is. With both intro and outro done, I started to think about what other little animation things I wanted for the channel. For a while now, I haven't been happy with my transitions between scenes, so I wanted to make something to use for that. So I made this store wipe. It's pretty simple. It's just made with a few keyframes, but I think it'll get the job done for now. I set the background to a bright green and then delta keyed it out in DaVinci Resolve. So let's see how it worked out. That didn't look too bad. I'm happy with it for now. The great thing about being the artist behind all my assets is that I can change and improve them later whenever I want. Like with some new poses I added recently. Do you like them? I like them. I think they're cute. Back to the main focus though. I also decided I wanted to add some more visual interest to the side of my time-lapse. More than just the occasional me popping up, of course. Attention spans are short nowadays, so I need some jingly keys around here-ish. So I made these little stores to shift about. I did the full animation in Clip Studio, using bright green as the background again to be removed in editing later. Then slung that thing into Resolve to test it out. I made a test time-lapse with a sketch of an apple monkey girl I'm working on the side. Did my normal background and cute little frame. Then I added the stores. They were cute enough on their own, but they weren't really scratching my itch. So I had to start playing around with different effects and filters. The ones I could actually use. I'm working with the free version here. But lucky me, they had just what I wanted. Torn paper and film grain. I slapped those 2 on them, and I'm happy with the results. My stores now look like they were torn out of a magazine and slapped on the screen. I think it's super cute. My only worry is about the film grain. If things are too fuzzy or pixely, YouTube gets weird with the video quality. So if I had to axe the film grain on my stores, that's why. The last thing I did for this video was super quick and simple, but I think it was a small needed touch. I don't know that many people who actually look at people's descriptions. I know I don't. So instead of just hoping someone scrolls down there to see my socials, I added them to my outro, as well as a thank you, which you'll see here in a second. That's everything I animated for the channel, which wraps up my little channel makeover series. Is it a series if it's only 2 videos? I don't know. I know I'm throwing both of them in the playlist together. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro. Bye bye!